Welcome, Buffalo George. How are you today?
Hello, Buffalo brother John. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Oh my
good.
God, John, we are going into week 18, which
Yes,
is really the 17th game of the year for the Buffalo Bills.
yes,
And we find them in a position that they not only can win their division, they could be the number two seed in the AFC,
that's right. That's right. It's all on the line.
or they could maybe not even make the playoffs.
Yes, the permutations are endless.
You know,
Endless.
this is typical of what this team has gone through the entire year. They're the best. They're not so good, but they're the best, but they're not so good.
Hmm.
And we're going to talk about it today.
Inconsistency has been,
Very consistent.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So they had a very inconsistent offense against the Chargers.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, against the Patriots.
Yeah, well, it's okay. You could say both.
They put up enough points to win,
Yeah.
and defense helped them out with a score.
Yes.
So that works, and the defense had a nice game.
The
Another
defense had a
another
phenomenal
nice
game,
game.
especially in the first half. They got them out in front, and then they were able to hold off any late charge by the Patriots, who kept bringing the game back to 6 points, and then the Bills would go back up by 13, and then it'd be back to 6 points, and so on and so forth. Now we both had the Bills winning the game,
We did.
and we both didn't believe they would cover the point spread.
Yeah, it was a crazy 13 points or something.
I had them at a 30-21, and I think that ended at 27-21. So it was close that way, but it's a 6 point spread. So, and you only had them as a 7 point spread,
Yeah.
a little bit lower score. So we were both right. You had them a little closer in score than I did, but we both had them as winning the game, and it worked out that way.
Yep.
We had but I tell you the truth, I couldn't figure out what the Bills' game plan was on offense. Were they going to run the ball? Were they going to throw the ball? Were they not sure what they were going to do? Did they force the pass because they felt they needed to get Stefon Diggs into the game? There's a lot of talk about, oh, Stefon Diggs hasn't done anything great in the last 5 weeks, so we have to we got to force it now and get Diggs into the game.
Yeah.
But you got Cook. Cook is becoming the playmaker of this team right now.
Mhm.
He is. And Josh Allen was not accurate this last week. He made some good plays,
Mhm.
and Diggs did make some good plays, but we didn't win the game because of that. Um, we won the game because of the defense.
Oh, okay.
What do you
You
think
could
about that?
you could say I would say we won the game because the Patriot offense was off.
Okay.
Patriot offense is anemic. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
So that they won 4 games all year, and we know why.
But don't you have to single out Ed Oliver and Rasul Douglas for how they played?
They are fantastic against weak opponents. They are. They're really good. The Bills defense,
Oh, backhanded compliment.
they are very good against weak opponents, and
Okay.
they look great. They look extra great, but they played a team that is just offense is horrible.
Okay. And what do you think is, since we've had Douglas, and I'm not exactly sure when we got him, but aren't they like won almost every game since he's arrived on the scene? Wasn't
Well,
Philly his first game?
well, he himself has played really.
Mm-hmm.
He's played really well, and it really looks like he if has fallen into playing well with the other defensive backs. They do a lot of communication. They move things around, and he really seems to understand uh, what they're doing back there, and he's helping to communicate. So he has fit right in. He's been a star.
The Bills laid a licking on the Cowboys.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I would call that as the Bills defense playing well against a poor opponent. I don't think the Cowboys are a poor opponent.
How many points did the Cowboys score?
I don't remember.
Okay,
Do
so
do I mean I was it 31? No, I can't remember, to be honest with you.
how many points did the Cowboys score?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let's take a quick peek. We're going to go back in history here.
It's just like, remember that Aesop failed on
Yeah.
what's it?
So
Bullwinkle show?
yep, the Cowboys scored a whopping 10 points,
Yeah, that's
right?
pretty good.
That is.
They shut them down because they had to throw and they couldn't do it.
That is right. That
And
is right.
they don't have a great running game because their best running back is injured.
Right. The
Mhm.
Cowboys win.
Cowboys.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that aside, what do you think's going to happen this week with Miami?
I think it'll be a fairly close game.
Okay.
I think both teams will be in the 20s.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think the Miami will at home. I think they will probably prevail.
You do,
Yeah.
even with the injuries on their side of the ball.
Uh-huh.
They don't have Mostert, they don't have Waddle. On the defense, they don't have Chubb. They lost a cornerback, and there's injuries in other areas on that team.
Yeah.
And you still think they're going to win at home?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. I tend not to agree, which
Okay.
is okay.
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
I hope you're
right.
right.
I hope I'm right too. But
Oh,
I look at it like, you know,
we'll be
we'll
celebrating.
be celebrating. Not a sponsor, but you can be.
Not a sponsor.
um,
Chateau, no, Chateau St. Michael's. You're welcome to be a sponsor.
Sweet Riesling from the Columbia Valley. All right, Harvest Select. We'll take it. We'll drink it. Um, Buffalo, their pass game has been tough.
Hmm?
Josh Allen is not himself this year. I don't know if it's injury related and they're just not telling us, or if he just is having an off year and yet he's got more touchdowns than anybody. This is the craziest thing I ever saw. He's the MVP, but he's also one of the culprits that'll make the team lose.
Yeah.
I never seen anything like that.
Well, he's not the MVP, but he's not going to be the NFL MVP this year. And
He's not
they
even the
tell,
MVP on his own team, or is he? I mean, what do you think? He's 40 touchdowns
yeah,
plus running touchdowns.
he's the best offensive player. Um, where they run into problems is they don't have enough other weapons. So he has a bad day. It, they just struggle all day.
Yeah.
You know,
And let's say
there's one player on the team that he can get the ball to that could score a touchdown anytime, and that would be Cook.
Mhm.
And I know you and I have even had questions. Does he really even have that kind of speed? So
Mhm.
if he isn't the guy, then they don't have a guy that
He
can score a touchdown on any score and
Cook,
any touch.
Cook is a kind of a guy that can run the ball. He can weave through where there's slight crack. He can get through into the secondary. He's a guy that can catch the ball. He can get around the end, but then he's the same guy that can fumble. So it's
Oh,
like
and drop butterfingers.
and drop a pass. So you just don't know that. Again, it's another way of saying the Bills have been consistently inconsistent. And I can't tell you what team is going to show up there this week.
No, that's very hard to do. Yeah.
And I do think that with the injuries on the Dolphins side, things are looking positive for the Bills. If you're going to have injuries on the Dolphins, and I hate to see injuries on any team, but if they got to come out with injuries, these are the kind of injuries that can help the Bills. When they don't have a pass rusher like Chubb, it makes it tougher to get pressure on Josh. When they don't have their number one running back, it makes it tougher for play action for Tua. So he's going to have to stand back in the pocket and wait for Hill to get open. And if the Bills can get the pressure on him like they've been getting the last few weeks on quarterbacks, he's going to have a long day. And I think the only thing that can hurt the Bills is the Bills. If they decide that we're not happy with running the ball, even though it's working, and we need to get Diggs involved in the game, or they get off their script, or they stop doing what's working, which they have a tendency to do at times, then they could mess up their own thing. Or turnovers. Cook could fumble the ball 3 times again.
Alan,
Allen could throw 3 interceptions. I mean, you just don't know. We
special teams
we haven't seen the
could give up. Special teams could give up a kick return,
Mhm.
and special teams could get something blocked. The Bass could be missing kicks.
Yes,
Special
right,
teams has
right.
been
All of that,
inconsistent
that's
this year too.
inconsistent too. And the one fortunate thing that we haven't seen lately is the penalty bug on the Bills. They seem to have
That's
cleaned that
true.
up. We're not seeing a lot of pass interference. Maybe that's because Elam isn't there, uh, and and uh,
And Jackson.
and Dane Jackson isn't there, and the guys out there are doing a better job of knowing what they can get away with and what they can. Every team gets away with a little something, and there's a lot better pressure on the pass rush, making the quarterbacks have to make bad throws or fast throws, not when they're ready, and the cornerbacks and the safeties don't have to commit a penalty to stop the reception. So the only thing I think that can stop the Bills this week is the Bills. And I agree with you. I think as much as I believe the Bills have the ability to knock this team out, I think they really could knock out the Miami Dolphins.
That
And
would be
by
great.
knockout, I mean
That would be great.
a huge victory. They're on the road, and I you just can't trust it, and that's what's unfortunate about the Bills. They could be the best team out there, and you just don't know what week the uh the mistakes are going to come. You just don't
They could
know.
they could be
They
the
can get undisciplined
hold on, they could be the best team out where?
out there on the field.
Oh, between Buffalo and Miami. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, they could be the best team out there in the league. I'm not just saying on the Miami. They could be the best team in the NFL, but they aren't because you can't trust what's going to happen. You can't trust that the running back's going to hold on to the ball, or Diggs is going to get open, or Josh Allen's going to even throw it in the vicinity of the wide receiver.
There's number two wide receiver is the blocking wide receiver.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone else that can do it. Number two wide receiver is supposed to do.
Yeah.
They don't have a running back at all except for Cook.
Mm-hmm.
They have a nice starting five offensive line, and they've been lucky that they haven't had injuries. They've done fine. They are not a great pass blocking offensive line. Allen has not had a ton of time to throw.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you and I were looking at a play uh, that Zappy was getting more time to throw than Allen,
Yeah.
but he has much less talent and couldn't do much with it.
Couldn't do anything because his talent wasn't getting open.
Yeah. Now we don't know if Von Miller's been playing it,
Well,
but Von Miller from the beginning of the season is far better than the guys they're using now. But I'm sorry, beginning of last season, before he got injured. Before he's injured,
before he's injured,
was
he
much
was
better
yeah.
than any of the guys they got now. Than any of the guys they use. Epinesa is fine, but he's not as good as Von Miller was.
No.
Kingsley Jonathan is fine, but he's nowhere near the player that Von Miller is.
Yeah.
Together, those
Mhm.
guys aren't the player that Von Miller is from before when he got hurt. So they're scraping the bottom of the barrel with those guys. They are they're trying to get Daquan Jones back into the fold. I don't think he's
A pectoral
yeah,
injury is tough to recover from,
I
no
can't
matter what he says that he's out there.
and he's going to continue to struggle.
Mhm.
Um,
Tim Settle had a good game against New England,
he had a good game against
and that's one of the few we've seen.
and they're not a good offensive line, and yet they were still able to give Zappy some time to throw.
Mhm.
Now they also got a bunch of sacks,
Yep.
so it was inconsistent, but offensively, like Shakir is not a great player, but he's becoming a regular a steady player for this Bills team. And that's because of the absence of real talent on the wide receiver, in my opinion. They got Diggs, who has not been much of a producing much the last few games. And then what's left for him to throw to? A rookie tight end and Shakir. So that's why he's, in my opinion, that's why he's getting targets and that's why he's getting some receptions. He's not particularly good. I don't know if he has a job in the NFL when his contract is up, but that's all that's left. So that's who's doing schemes. Sherfield and Hardy are just non-existent.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. Sherfield and Hardy isn't worth the paper they signed. They call a contract. We haven't seen them do anything. Drop balls, fumble balls, can't make a catch. They've both been worthless on this team. But I don't think for Buffalo to beat Miami, they have to have the quintessential number two wide receiver. I don't think we have to have a guy that can burn them deep. We do have two very good tight ends, and we've got an outstanding running back. And all three could be out in the pass pattern, as well as Davis and Diggs.
Well,
So
I would only temper.
Mhm.
We have a good running back who
It's a great wide receiver, a
who
great
is
receiver.
who's a great Cook is a great
Yes,
wide receiver.
no receiver, not
Is
wide receiver.
Butterfingers is a great wide receiver. Butterfingers.
He makes. I mean, I've seen him drop balls, but not that many.
Enough.
Okay. Well,
We didn't get a ton of balls thrown to him.
I think the
So
Bills are going to be able to attack like they did Dallas, the linebacker position of the Dolphins, with their running backs and their tight ends.
let me ask you
And
this:
when they pull up closer, that's when you'll see Diggs go deep.
who would you rather have, HA or Cook?
Oh, boy, that's
Not even a
they're
question.
two different.
You know you'd rather have HA.
Two
You know you'd
different
rather
running
have.
backs. Okay.
Who would you rather
Achan,
have?
yeah, Achan.
Now, and here's a question.
If I was picking, I would
Yeah,
pick Achan.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Who would you rather have? And this, your answer could be different, but
Mhm.
Stefan Diggs and Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
They're
Hill.
different. I mean, they're different guys.
Yeah, but
Now, and right now,
that kind of speed,
Hill
absolutely.
is not just having this year, he's having a
Mhm.
fantastic year. This is his best year, like I think ever
Absolutely.
statistically. Yeah.
He's got like
Yeah.
1,700
So it's
yards.
hard not to say Hill right now. I love Stefan Diggs. He's a top 5 receiver still in my book. But yeah, right now I think you got to pick Hill. Um, hold on. Do they have anything else? You might prefer the Bills offensive line to the Miami offensive line. And you might prefer the Bills defensive line to the Miami defensive line because they do have a bunch of injuries.
Mhm.
So if we could win the line of scrimmage, and if they can stay on schedule
Mhm.
and they could make first downs, um, I don't know who they have on the team that could, if Hill pops one, if Miami's having some difficulty getting first downs, but then all of a sudden they get a couple of first downs and Hill goes takes it the distance. I don't know if the Bills have somebody that can answer like that.
No.
They got to answer with a long drive,
Mhm.
which is different from when they went 11-3 the 2 years ago. They were explosive team.
Yes. Explosive offense.
That's
Right.
all gone.
Yeah.
And um, it's weird, but it's almost like the old Pittsburgh offense where
Mhm.
we think of, but they don't have the running game of Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and they have probably a better passer.
Well, you gotta say the Bills this year came out as a passing team, like they would, as they do, and now you got a guy that's already rushed for over 1,000 yards. You got his 17th game coming up, so an extra game this year and last year. And so he's going to be a very good running back. He's probably going to end up with 1,200 yards running. And I'm talking about Cook. And then you're going to be able to, I don't know if you can look it up or not, but to look at how many total receiving yards he's had and touchdowns as well. I think we're going to find out you got a heck of a running back there. You got a real weapon in Cook. And the Miami Dolphins is going to have to pay attention to that. They're not going to they can't let it slide and say, listen, we can just guard Stefan Diggs. They're going to have to bring guys into the box to cover for Cook. And when they do that, Diggs will get open, Davis will get open, Shakir will get open. Uh, and I think that you've got to you got a guy that can take attention and force the defense to change the way that they want to play. I see you're looking it up right now.
Well, I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
hard to get receiving totals for a running back.
Yeah.
That's the tough part because I found his running totals easy.
Yeah.
It's the receiver
Where's his running totals now?
for the year.
Yeah.
It was 1,086.
So just about 1,100 yards. So, if he has a good game, he could hit 1,200 yards this week. And that'd be a hell of a run. We haven't had that since McCoy.
His receiving yards are 429.
So another 429, and he could add, he could get to over 500. He could get to 500 for the year and 1,200.
Yeah, he could.
That's 1,700 yards. That's a weapon.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
That's good.
And that changes the way the defense has to play the Bills. It's the Bills who say, I'm not going to take what we're getting. I've decided I want to get digs into.
Okay, it can take it, but we haven't seen a defense pack the box to stop the run. No defense has done that. They played 16 games. Not one defense has done that
Because of the Bills,
because they're passing ability. So
is not staying with the consistent what's working, except in the Dallas game. And Dallas said, no, we're not going to change our defense.
That's right.
And the Bills said, fine, we'll beat you 31-10.
That's right.
And until somebody pulls away from guarding against Stephon Diggs, Cook should be open and be able to drive those yards.
And they've done that once. Like after the Dallas game, we haven't seen them do it again. They got away from the running attack against San Diego.
Yes.
They got away from the running attack against the Patriots.
I'm saying that's not because of Cook. That's because of the play calling on the Bills. They just got rockheads.
Well,
they have the ability to do it. They just don't do it.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying he's got to actually do it on the field, and then they have to be able to take advantage of it. But this team has not done that.
I think you're
and they've had.
I think you're going to see it this week.
Okay.
I think you're going to see it this week.
Earlier this year, you kept telling me they were going to run screen. They were going to be a good screen team. They have yet to run a good screen.
Well, they're going to get there.
They're going to get there next, right? No, I got you. It's just.
Well, now they know a guy. They got a guy that could do it.
So they've been using a lot of pull the tackle. Right?
Yeah.
How long do they have to do that? Put that on tape. Now, it's been Philadelphia, Dallas, San Diego, Patriots. That's 4 games. They've been doing it. You don't think Miami's going to be ready for that?
They're going to pull that guy up to guard against that. And that's when Diggs or the tight ends are going to be able to get open. Or Shakir.
Has not worked yet.
Because they haven't pulled the guy up yet to stop that pulling tackle.
The Bills have used that motion and then passed from it, and it hasn't gotten them anywhere.
So the defense isn't changing. They're not going with that pulling guy, and they leave it open for the run.
So if they and then the Bills don't run.
Then they don't run. That's their fault.
So how?
And they should listen to me.
So how are they going to beat Miami doing they do the same thing? Because and it's only
Miami doesn't have the talent on the field this week to stop them.
Okay. They got 11 wins. They're working on their 12th, I think.
They got injuries now.
Okay.
They got injuries now. They've been exposed on their defense. The Bills exposed them earlier, and now they've got a lot of injuries. And Baltimore exposed them even worse with all their injuries. And you're going to see it again this week.
The Patriot game, we saw a number of designed runs for Allen.
Yeah.
And we both liked it. But we also saw that we saw him get up and look like he got hit. He had that shoulder thing.
Yeah, he looked
we saw him in the first half. He's like,
with his wrist.
And later he admitted
I can't feel my fingers, Mom.
He had a stinger, and he says he'd never had a stinger before.
Welcome to the NFL. Yeah.
We saw him throw a ball wildly over Sheffield's head, and then the very next throw into the ground in front of someone.
Very, very poor passing.
Very poor. But maybe a consequence of the running. We don't know, and they won't
Maybe
tell
because
you
he's not throwing enough.
because he's getting shoulder injuries.
Oh, because couldn't show her.
He has shoulder.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Never had a stinger before. Now he's got to throw with one, and he admitted in the press conference the ball wasn't doing what he wanted. He said, "I never really experienced a ball not doing what I wanted it to do." If they continue to run him, I think you're going to continue to see the ball not doing what he's asking of it.
Well, here's something for us. When we come back and do this next week,
Mhm.
we're going to either be talking about
Hopefully, a division championship, and we're going to
It's
have
great,
we're
yeah.
going to be drinking.
we're either going to be talking about getting ready for the playoffs or what happened to this year. One or the other. It ain't
Yeah,
gonna be.
yeah.
It can't be anything in between. So we're either going in as a wild card, a division champ, or they're going back to Buffalo and cleaning out their lockers. We're going to find out. Are they a
Yeah.
division champ, John, or are they not a division? Are they a wild card team, or not even a playoff team this year?
Well,
That's what we're going to find out.
let's look. Like we got the Ravens are going to be division champs.
We should know before the game
Kansas
starts.
City is going to be division champs.
Mhm.
We don't know if Jacksonville or Indianapolis
Or Houston.
Houston is going to be division champ.
Mhm.
If the Bills end up, let's say, winning a close one,
Mhm.
28-24, I don't know. Would you? I know they would have the second seed. Would you think that they are the second best team in the conference?
Yes.
Okay. Be, okay, because of what you see on this is the team that lost to Denver. This is the team that lost to the Jets and the Patriots.
But they're playing well now.
Okay.
They're playing well now. They go through a long season. There's ups and downs. Um, remember them last year. What were they? 13-3 because they didn't play the other game because Cincinnati and Damar Hamlin. My opinion is they would have ended up 13-4. I think since he would have beat them
Probably
that
beat them.
year.
Yep.
They were 13-3, and they went in as what, the 3 seed, and
No, two.
2 seed. And to be honest with you,
Cincinnati came to Buffalo and beat them.
we didn't think they were that good.
Yeah, we didn't think they were quite as good as their record.
And now this year, I think that they're better than the record at this point in the year. Not for consistently whole the entire year. Like I'm not going to look at what Miami
right?
did in week 7 because they're playing now in week 7, week 18.
If they end up, no, they're 10-6 right now.
Mhm.
If they end up 10-7, I would tell you that they are exactly a 10-17. Barely above 500, above 500, above 500. Because they're not 9-8.
If you're a division winner, you got to be able to go on the road, beat your competition.
Yeah,
Best competition in your division. You got to go on the road and beat them. You don't have to beat them convincingly. You got to beat them. So until we see that, we beat them convincingly at home, but they got to go to Miami and come away with a win. And then I would say, yes, they're truly a division winner and could be a threat in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to be a threat to Baltimore, but we'll see.
I think you might want to rethink that because didn't they lose to the Jets on the road? That was
talking about a long time
didn't
ago.
they lose to the Patriots on the road?
I don't care. Cares what happened in week 7 after injuries came?
This is a tough division opponent.
Yeah, it is.
And it's on the road.
And they got to be able to go there and beat.
Somebody mentioned that it is a benefit that it's a night game and they don't have to stand in the sun. That's probably true.
It's only going to be 68 degrees. I don't think they're melting in Miami. Probably feel good to them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Anything that helps them.
Yeah,
anything that helps them.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Even if it's a Hardy doesn't have to look in the sun when he's trying to catch the ball. Anything that helps. Like
anything that helps. Yeah. Okay, I'll buy.
It doesn't have to be a big help. It's not an advantage for Miami. That's all.
I can tell you. I'll tell you this: before the game starts, or before their game starts, they're going to know if they're in the playoffs or if they have to win to be in the playoffs, because both the Pittsburgh Ravens game is going to be over. If Pittsburgh loses, the Bills are in. But Baltimore may be resting all their guys, so we don't know. And then the next one is the Jacksonville game. If Jacksonville loses, the Bills are in. But Jacksonville's not playing a great opponent. So, but we're going to know anything can happen. So we're going to know the Bills may not have to win in Miami to be in the playoffs and be the seventh seed or yeah, probably seventh seed. But we're going to know before the game if they have to win to be in. And the only way to be in is to be the two seed. They'll have to beat Miami.
Okay. No, well, we're gonna know.
We're going to know.
We're gonna know. All the other games have been played, so
Yep,
we
yep.
will know. Yeah, there's no way around it. There's no way McDermott can like, oh, take their phones away. They're gonna know.
So it's going to be a matter of playing the game to find out who's the division winner and gets home playoff games and who's a wild card and has to go on the road. We'll find out.
Okay.
Miami's in the playoffs either way.
Yeah, listen. I want to see them not only in the playoffs. I like to see them. You know, they apparently they've never won three divisions. Like they've never won the division 3 years in a row. It didn't even occur to me, but I guess that's true.
I mean, four,
How many years in a row have they won it now?
three.
Oh, well, then four.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Yeah. And they're right. They could be
yeah.
a four-time division winner and they've never done it before.
No, that
So
would be history in the making.
you
Yeah.
would think Vegas would have considered that in the odds, but they still got the Bills favored on the road. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to the game, that's for sure.
What was the game that you saw the inconsistency in where one team was favored, but the odds of them winning was like
The Jets in New England.
okay.
It said the Jets were 2-point favorites, but no, I'm sorry. New England was 2-point favorites. They were -2. But the Jets had a 51% chance of winning the game. So how can you have a higher chance of winning if you're the underdog? You know, so there goes any of that baloney. I'm ready.
Oh, you got I'm sorry. Did you give a score? What do you think the score? You got a score?
Oh, okay. I'll give you a score. I think the Bills are scoring 20,
I'm trying to find
27 points.
the score of the first Miami game. So please bear with me a moment as we go through.
It was 48-20.
You think it would be here. And Patriot. That wasn't even this year.
It
And
was
so
48 to 20.
I'm in the wrong year.
Yeah.
Okay, so 48-20.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Yeah, 48-20. So what did you say for this year?
I think it's going to be 24-14. I think the Buffalo defense is going to put them down, take Hill out of the equation, and run the ball and keep Miami off the field.
I would be shocked if Miami can't score 20 points.
Okay, no,
I'd be shocked.
Yep.
And if one team is going to run the ball down the other one's throat, I think Miami has a better chance of that. But I'm still in like 28-24 Miami.
Okay.
So those might even have the ball last, trying to get that last touchdown.
So we see the Bills about the same. 28 for you, 27 for me.
24 for me.
For the Bills.
28-24.
Oh, you're saying Miami's winning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're doubling my score for Miami.
Yeah, I just think that they will be more successful than
Mm-hmm.
I would think they would score at least 20
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think the Bills are going to try and take possession of the ball.
Yeah, it could end up being like 18 to 14.
I think Miami to win, they're going to have to like score on deep plays. I don't know that they're going to be able to control the ball in a short passing game without enough receivers and quality receivers.
Okay, quality.
And I think Buffalo can do a 14 play marches and 13 play marches, 12 play marches. I think they can do it. I don't think Miami can do it. And I think Buffalo's defense is going to be too good to let them be consistent on those drives.
Oliver has been having a good year.
Mm-hmm.
If Oliver is running downfield to help make tackles 8, 12, 14 yards downfield because the running back got past them all, that's going to be a bad sign.
Mm-hmm.
If he's making tackles at the line of scrimmage within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, then that could be fantastic. That could lead to a Buffalo victory. It could be the difference in the offense and defensive line. But I'm more. I think the home field advantage is going to be a little too much for them.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. Well,
Oh, God,
can't wait.
yes. Yeah.
Sunday night. If there was, where would you rather be than right here, right now? Right? That's
Marv Levy.
not,
Yes. Yeah.
but it's going to be the last game of the year.
The answer
Last regular game of the year is Buffalo Miami for the division title.
was
That's
he said that, but the problem is, where would you rather be? Was on the other side of the
that,
field. They kept losing.
where right here, right now. And sitting on that bench, coach.
Wearing the other team's colors. That's where.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm ready.
All right. All right. Everybody have a good night.
Yep. Happy New Year, everybody.
Enjoy the game.
See ya.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.